Alright guys, what we've got here is a Chicago Pneumatic. It's a 3-gallon oilless compressor. It's a 100 maximum on the PSI, and I found this at a Goodwill Outlet store, where most of the stuff you buy there is by the pound. And but for heavier items like this, they have a set price on them, and at the one that we go to, the set price on larger appliances that plug in is about $4. So I picked this one up for $4, and when I was checking it out, it was missing all the screws that hold the upper half of this cover on, and the handle is also missing. You know, so this shell was separated. So what I figured was, you know, somebody bought it and used it for however long, and something went wrong, and they took the cover off in an attempt to try to figure it out, and just kind of threw their hands up and couldn't figure out what was going on with it. And so what I'm going to do here is, since the cover was already off of it at the store, I just kind of checked, and the shaft of the motor turns, and it's got some resistance in it. So it feels to me like the armature's free, and it's also moving the piston up and down in the cylinder there. So it should be able to compress air if it will run. So I've plugged it up, and nothing comes out of it. It's also missing any kind of fitting here or anything. And there's a small crack in this. It's probably plastic, but the clear cover on this, but shouldn't hurt anything. So what I need to do is figure out if it's getting electricity to the motor or not, and we'll go from there. If it's not getting electricity to the motor, I need to figure out where it's stopping. You come in, the power comes into a switch. There's a switch here, and then there's a reset button here, circuit breaker, I guess is what that is. And there's some sort of a square electronics piece here, and I'm not an expert. I've seen several things. I don't know if that's some kind of like a bridge rectifier or something. I'm not real sure what it is. I haven't taken a very close look at it yet, but we'll start with the easy stuff first. And basically what I'm going to start with is the on-off switch, and check to see if it's working. If that's good, I'm going to move to the circuit breaker and just keep on progressing from there. So the first thing I want to do is check the on-off switch, and let's see, this is the on-off switch here. It's just a simple toggle switch, and there are two connectors here. Those should just pull off. They do. That one came off real easy, and that one's stuck. Oh, there it came. Alright, and it looks like, well, let me just check this switch first. I'm just going to put my multimeter and do a continuity check just to make sure. Just a simple sound test. I don't know if you can hear that or not. So, you know, if there's continuity on the switch when it's turned on, then it should make that beep sound. I got nothing there. Did I have it turned on? Oh, now let me try it. Now it's turned on. And let's see what we got here. Oh. Hey, sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get lucky. There is no continuity on that switch. Let me just work it back and forth a few times. Alright, now it's in the on position. Let's check it one more time. Nothing. Nothing. Alright, well, let me go make up a jumper wire and I'm going to put the jumper wire between these two pieces here just so I can test it real quick and see if the motor actually kicks on and the compressor starts working, and then I will be right back with that jumper wire. Alright, I'm back, and I'm going to try this jumper wire here, and just plug in to each side. Okay, all I've done here is I just took a jumper wire to go between both ends that were connected to that switch. So now when I plug it in, if the motor's working, it should just start immediately as soon as it's plugged in. There's just no on-off switch on it right now. So let me try that and let's see what happens. You can hear the air coming out because there's no fitting in here, no fitting to stop the air flow from coming out of the tank. But I saw by plugging the hole with my finger it was building up pressure, and there's definitely, hope you can hear that, there's air in the tank. So it doesn't get any simpler than that. I just need to replace that switch. I might even take a look at the switch and see if I can fix it. If not, I probably got a switch somewhere that I can replace it with, and I will have to come up with some screws for it and a handle of some sort. So when I get ready to start on that part, I'll come back to the video. Okay, I've got two things here. I found a switch, and I've got an illuminated light switch, I'm sorry, just an illuminated switch, and I think what I'll do is just not even worry about the illumination part of it and just wire it in as a normal switch. But it actually, I checked it, it actually is the same size. I already had that. I desoldered it off of something, but so I've got a switch there that I've checked and it actually works. And there was a screw that was still left in this cover that was just hanging in there somehow, and all the other ones are missing though, but that should help me find a screw to replace the other at least 4, and then I've got to find out what kind of screws to use on the handle part and come up with a solution for the handle. And I've also got to go through my fittings and see if I got a fitting that will fit that. Hopefully I've got a quick connect or something I can put on that. So I'm going to go ahead and get this switch changed out if I can, and let's see if we can get it to run with the on-off switch. Alright. Alright, there's the old switch, and it's just got these little tabs that push in to lock it in place. It'll allow it to go in, and then once it's slid down into the plastic, they snap back out and it keeps it from coming back out. So I'm going to replace that switch with this switch, which looks like it should fit the exact same way. And on these switches, the O is for off, the dash is for on. So I'm just going to line this up to where it matches up with this. So that should go in just like that. Got off and on. Now that switch just snaps down in place there. And I should be able to just wire this up. Get my jumper wire out of there. Let's see. These are just little fittings that slide down onto the tabs on the switches, and they're insulated. Alright, now that switch is in there, so now I should be able to control it with the on-off switch. Let's try that out. Alright. Uh-oh, nothing. Oh, I've hooked it up wrong. I've got the illumination part hooked up. So I'm just unplugging it so I don't get electrocuted. And let me try to move these wires around to see if I can get this to come on. Alright, see there's 3 positions. One of them works the illumination. The other one would work the toggle on off on it for the switch for the power. Alright, so that should do it for the on-off switch. I'm going to see if I can find some screws for it, and if I come up with a decent handle solution, I'll put it on the video as well. Alright, so I was able to find some screws for putting the shell back together. It was just a plastic screw that was missing. Well, actually there was 3 of them that were missing. One of them was still in there. I found some sheet metal screws that had a similar thread type, kind of a deep, wide, coarse thread to it. So the sheet metal screws worked out great for just holding this together. And now I've been thinking about a simple handle to make for it. And I had some of this CPVC pipe laying around. And this thing is pretty light. It doesn't weigh much at all for a compressor. The CPVC, I just cut off some pieces. And I drilled a bigger hole in the top so that the screw head could drop down through it, and I can still screw it in. And then I'm going to run some of this rope through here on each side, and this will be my handle part that the rope will go through here on the CPVC pipe, and then I should be able to lift it like that. So I'm going to start putting this together. I didn't do anything fancy here. I just cut the pipe off, drilled I drilled a hole all the way through the size of my screw, and then I opened up the top hole enough to where I could get the head of the screw through it. So let me see if I can get this thing put together and see what it turns out to look like. Alright, I think you can see kind of what I did there, running the rope through there and tying it on each end. So there's a single piece of rope going through the grip part of the handle, and the rope passes through on each end there to make a loop up here. So that gives you a handle with plenty of oomph to move it around. Like I said, it's not a very heavy compressor at all, but I've let it build up some pressure. And I stopped it at around 80 because I want to clean it out and everything before I start messing with it too much. I did find a fitting over here that I could use on it, and it took it about 3 minutes to get up to 80 psi, which isn't too bad because I believe the spec on it is, let's see what it says here. Yeah, it says here about, I don't know if you can read that or not. There it is, about 4 minutes to reach the maximum pressure. I don't believe I mentioned, but on the rope here, I use a lighter to kind of melt the ends a little bit to keep it from unraveling where I made my cuts on it. If you don't do that, it will start to come apart on you. But anyway, basically what I was kind of wanting to do is just show, you know, people throw away stuff that's usable all the time. And so, although this wasn't thrown away, it was given to a thrift store, and it made its way to their outlet center because nobody bought it because it was apparently not working. The vast majority of people, once something's done, once they've had a problem with it, they throw it away or they give it away. So there's a lot of stuff out there that's perfectly usable floating around that you can get for pennies on the dollar. I mean, this thing was $4 and I have not spent a single dime on it other than that $4 initially. So, and I didn't need it. I've got a big air compressor in my shop, and I've got a small one in my garage that's actually better than this one. But you know, for $4, it's small, it's lightweight, it's portable. If I want to carry it to my lawnmower to fill up a tire or something, you know, that's not going to be a problem. Because it doesn't weigh very much. So for $4, yeah, I'll do that. And you know, the tank on it, if you know, kind of what I was thinking was, if this didn't work, if the motor was bad or whatever, then the tank on it could still be used as a portable air tank. Just take all this off and plumb it to where you can just use as a portable air tank for $4. You know, you can't go buy a portable air tank for $4. So that was kind of my thinking on it. What I was wanting to do with this new channel I've started is just kind of show people some different types of repairs, and also I like to make things, I like to repurpose things. And I have another channel called The Fishing Hobby, and I do make some things on there, fishing related things, and I really enjoy doing that sort of thing, but I don't want to clog up that channel with a lot of this type of videos also. You know, I don't want to get too far off the subject of fishing, which was what the intent was behind that channel to start with. So I decided just to do another channel, and a buddy of mine that I've known, he's more like my brother than my friend, really. I've known him since we were probably in the 3rd grade, I guess, and we're both in our 40s now. But my friend, he's looking at some of my videos on my other channel, and he said, you're a tinker and juggernaut. So I was like, that sounds like a pretty good name for a channel. So that's what I decided to name my channel, and I think it's a neat name, and I think I can do a lot with the channel. So, and I like to get a lot of input from people that are checking the channel out in my videos too. So this was just going to be my first video. Opportunity presented itself, and I thought it'd make a decent little video, and I wanted to get that uploaded and get the channel going and everything. So, you know, if you come over from my Fishing Hobby channel to check this out, I really appreciate it. And if you want to subscribe to this one, I'd be glad to have subscribers of all sorts. You know, there's a lot of nice people that I've visited with online through the YouTube thing, and it's kind of been a fun process. So I wanted to just kind of continue that over into another channel and try a few different things also. So if you like it, give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, you know, give me a thumbs down if you want to. And if you got any comments or questions, or you know, anything, if you have a better idea for a handle or just whatever, let me know and down in the comment section. And you know, a lot of times people just go through and read, and they learn things just by reading the comments. So I know I do it all the time. So anyway, that's the first video on this channel, and I'm going to cut it off here. But thanks for watching, and give me a subscribe if you enjoy this sort of thing, and I will talk to y'all later. Thanks.